Hey guys, what's going on? This is another episode of the Road to Champcar on footwork. So the things I have to do today are I lost my headlights, so I've got to figure that out. I have found the wires and the traces that I need to solder back together, but I just need to solder it together. I got a steering column made up from the guys over at DVR Performance. I'll show it to you right here. So nice and rigid. Yeah, no flex in that. Nice and rigid. It's good to go. Really good work by them. DBR Performance in Spring Hill, Tennessee. But yeah, fix my headlights. That's a big thing for today. I think my alternator is dying, so I might try and pin out the connector to see if it is dying or if it's just dirty or something. And then if I get to it, I doubt I will, but if I get to it, I'm going to gut this because this is ready to be stripped and the skin to be used. Then I can put that and my gauges back in and have a running and driving race car that is effectively ready to roll. So let's just get started. Alright, so I'm sure this shot will be overexposed to hell for my new 2000 lumen light, thank you Lowe's, but during the removal of the dash, my oil pressure gauge that used to be like here had headlight power from the dash, so when you pulled the switch out like that, the gauge would change into a darker color so you wouldn't be blinded at night. And apparently this crimp joint right here just lost hanging. Sorry, one out of focus. This crimp joint right here apparently lost it, and the power wire right here broke its tab. So I'll remedy this, but this one is easy as just cut the wire here, splice it, and solder it back together with the new union, I guess. I don't know. I'm a mechanical engineer, not electrical. I don't know terms. Okay. So, just going to cut it here. Hopefully the camera shake isn't too bad. My $30 tripod is, well, a $30 tripod. So, cut. That really went. Now I have to be careful because I don't actually have wire strippers here. You can't see what I'm doing. Let me come around over here. Gotta be careful with this, so I want the insulation gone. But as you can see, I'm running out of wire. So that is all that I'm working with. It's about that much. So we're just gonna be careful and take our time. Working around, cutting through the insulation, but trying not to cut the copper in the center. Working around. Ooh, don't fall. Don't fall, camera. Bad tripod. There you go. Getting a good cut. A good amount of insulation gone. Oh, that was nice. Hey, if somebody around me in Nashville wants to work for free, because I don't have enough money to pay you, you should be a cameraman, because I'm in desperate need of one. That's why these videos and my own talent with the camera, because I am not the next, I almost said Sylvester Stallone, I guess I'm not that either, but Spielberg, not him, that's not me. I make cars go fast, I drive cars fast, arguably too, depending upon who you talk to. Oh, it's coming, good. Just takes time. Just takes time. Come on. Nice! Nailed it. Sweet. So now, I am gonna kind of marry these two together, interlace all of the threads, I guess, the individual strands of copper. Come on. Work with me here. I might have to call a helper in the form of my father. My dad might make his first internet appearance, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see. That looks... Let me try and twist it now. Alright, come on, work with me. Work with me, car. Beautiful. So, can you see that? No, of course you can't. Why couldn't you? So let me try and focus here. Oh, that's the wrong way. Oh, really? I'm sure you guys will love this commentary too. It's real professional. So I'm really trying hard to balance this crappy tripod. So, you know, in motorsports, there's a very common, well, I guess in all car-related things, there's a very common sentiment that basically is the most expensive thing you buy is a cheap part. And I'm sure that's true for other things as well, but very common in motorsports. The most expensive thing I have bought is right there is what we're soldering. Don't fall, camera. Stay. Sit. The most expensive thing is a cheap part, right? Well, I recommend not buying a $30 Amazon tripod then, because it is a cheap part and it sucks really bad. So, just got my soldering iron. I'm heating it up. And how I like to do it, there are other opinions, I'm sure, is I like to heat the underside of the wire, like so, get it really, really nice and hot, and then put the solder on top of it. That's how, oh shit. That's how I like to do it. So, let me turn it off so I'm not going to burn anything now that the wire's separated. Lovely. But that's just how I do it. I'm sure other people do it other ways. I'm sure you'll have 1,007 opinions on the internet. I have an idea. Let me not hate myself. Pop the connector out, pop that individual wire out, and solder it free. Alright, which one is it? It is this guy. So I need to get in there. Ta-da! So I have removed the wire, and that is all the wire. Oh, you get it. That is all the wire I'm working with on this end. So it'll be alright. But like I was saying, you'll have, I'm sure, about 17 million opinions on how to do something, and I'm gonna be honest, if you guys haven't figured it out already, the internet will tell you you're wrong on a lot of things, but really it's just a bunch of different ways of doing the same thing. So, if it works, it works. Some might be prettier than others, I will admit, but if it works, it works. That's my opinion. Now, in terms of safety-related items, safety is... There's a very right way and a very wrong way to do safety. And I am very much in the camp of do it right and don't die. That's my opinion on that. That's why I put massive door bars in this car. That's why I have 3 support bars in the roof of this car. Like, racing is dangerous. It's my hobby. It's what I like to do. It's exciting. It's got a lot of adrenaline. I ain't trying to die. It's not my cup of tea on a Sunday morning. I really hope you guys like the just rambling, because it's enjoying. I enjoy it. Alright, so let me try and squish these together with some vice grips, because I don't have quite enough to twist. So let me try the good old squish factor. Squish. That'll be alright. Alright, so that will stay there. I'll get my soldering iron and my solder right here. This is actually not my soldering iron, thanks Andrew. Andrew Pratt, the co-founder, if you will, of Two Scrubs Garage, who is no longer, he's not dead, but he's just not doing footwork anymore. He's got more adult things to do because, you know, he's got a job. But, lent me this soldering iron. He's still doing his Z50 stuff and all of his mini bikes. Got a lot of those. They're fun. They're cool. I feel like he's going to die on one eventually because it's really just like riding a shoe. But yeah. So stop and sit. So it'll take a minute for the... Ah, shit. It's coming out again. This is the kind of thing... And I'm sure I suck, right? Like, I'm sure the internet tells me I suck. And I probably do. But this is the thing when you do not have 20 years of experience doing something, It takes a minute, you know? That's fine. As it turns out, I am a better driver, better engineer, than I am a solderer. Because, well, the universe has said that, no, James, you're actually quite crap, because that is the best that I could offer today. So, it should, it's a little hot still, but, I mean, I'm pulling on it, and it's, together, it's just really ugly. But that's what you get on this channel. I am not ashamed of my own crap. I am not ashamed of my work that I have done, because this is all part of it. If you are not good at soldering, well, it is a skill that you will learn. Building a race car. So, that is just a part of it. Now let's get on to the alternator and see what we can figure out about that. So I have a couple things here. You're going to have to trust me, I can't demonstrate it today because I forgot my Mustang keys at my apartment because I'm at my parents' house. So you're going to have to trust me. I had a battery tender here from Harbor Freight just like to keep it charged because the battery was dying. I have an isolator right here, and I've heard that when these go bad, they act similarly. But I'll show you. I'll get my multimeter real quick. And we can probe it out a hair. So, there is a lot of resistance, like about 2 ohms, maybe 3 ohms, in between, in between the battery cable and the ground circuit. So the positive and the negative, there's a lot of resistance. So, set this to ohms, and we'll start measuring. So, let me make this bright so you can see it, and put it, I don't know about, is that, can you see that? No, why is that washed out? Oh, okay, well you can see that. Cool, so let me tuck this in so it doesn't fall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probe everything out. So in between, because this is currently open, in between the actual ground strap and the ground terminal, it would help if you could see it, we have overloaded ohms. Okay, that's expected because the thing is open, there's no current, or there's no circuit completed. So when I twist this to close it, we should see very little resistance, very little. Okay, so again, ground strap to ground terminal, we see, sorry, my thing fell. We see very minuscule resistance, but 2 ohms is still pretty good. That's still pretty low. Let's see if we can get that back. No, you can't see. Wow, I am really good at this hosting thing. Ah, it's 6 ohms. That's significant. Okay. So now, to isolate this, if it is this guy right here, to isolate it, we go from the negative terminal of the battery to the negative connection of this clamp. And let's see what we get. So we should get a very small number, so 0.2. So in between here and here, we have like 6 ohms of resistance, which is a lot. Okay, 2 ohms. Now, here's the big test. If it truly is this going bad, this connection, which you can barely, my thumb's actually off screen, but this connection right here, let me actually change this real quick. So, right in here is where this ground strap that came with the car connects to this terminal. So here, it is 2 ohms, okay? The ground strap through the terminal. If I go here and it's still 2 ohms, that's not good. Oh, it's much less. So, we figured out 2 things. One, that between inside this, as it sits right now, is an ohm of resistance. But ground strap connecting to this is another ohm. And now I'm talking in ohms, and single ohms doesn't sound like a whole lot, and it normally isn't. In circuit design that we had to do in engineering school, I mean, you would have resistors in the 20,000s, 100,000s of ohms, even millions, if you will. It would be so big it would be measured in mega ohms. This isn't a circuit that should have resistance. This is brass-coated copper, and this is brass-coated copper, maybe even lead. There should be very little resistance in this. So, what that means, it means I need to get in here and clean everything up, and I'm sure I'm going to get roasted for this terminal, because this is disgusting. This is very dirty. Let's really get in there and show my flaws and failings. Gross. Icky. This is the original battery that I had on the car when I bought it, so I'm not, like, shocked that it's going bad. Oh, shoot. But what I'm saying is I still think my alternator is acting fuzzy. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Sorry, before I got rudely interrupted by the force of gravity. I still think my alternator is acting up. You see that? Can that be... Yeah, cool. That's not great. Let me... That's still not great. What about that? Can you see that? Ah, there you go. I still think it's the alternator, because when I had the car running and connected here to here, just raw terminal to raw terminal, it'll say nothing now because there's no change and it's just a battery. And it was measuring the resistance of the battery. I was only getting like 12 volts, maybe. But if we go here, and if this has crazy high resistance too, well, we know some of our problems. So let me. This hosting thing is not, as it turns out, I'm not suited for it. So, alright, you can read that. Boom, that's the post, and this is the connection. Should be very little resistance. It is. It is actually, it looks gross and dirty, but that's actually pretty good. That's much better than here. So, what I might try and do is I can't do it today because I forgot my keys like a dummy, but I might try and disconnect that isolator that I was talking about right there, and I might run it and see if that 2 ohm resistance kills 2 volts. And it would if there was very little current, but because the formula for ohms and resistance and current and voltage is V equals IR, where V is your voltage and I is your current and R is your resistance. If I had a 2 volt drop, which I saw, I was getting about 12.5 and battery should charge at 14. If I saw 2 volts, I have 2 ohms of resistance. That means my current is an amp. And mathematically that checks out. I haven't measured the current because this is only a 10 amp multimeter. I would be very surprised if that alternator output a single amp to run the entire car. So that might be alternator thing, because I mean I know cop cars, and I'll just show you my alternator right there. Cop cars, they have an upgraded alternator. It's 180 amps. It is. I think this one was a 130 originally, and that's obviously peak amperage, but I still think I'm getting more amperage just from idling and running than an amp. So, I think I have more problems than this. I think this is not good. I think this is not good, and I might delete it and put a safety, like a master kill switch that doesn't use nylon right here that you can see. That white stuff is just a nylon isolator. So when you unscrew this, like so, you can hear the car click off. I don't know if you could, but I could. When you unscrew this, this nylon now separates the two, and they don't make contact anymore. And that nylon, I mean, the thing's been on there a year. It might just be time for it to go. So I think that's where this is. I obviously need to clean up the terminals and all that jazz, but as far as the alternator goes, and I can only really do it when the car's running, as far as my knowledge goes, I have an input wire here, this white one. I don't know what it is, and I have a harness here. Oops. I have a harness here that goes into it as well. I don't know what one of these 3 wires, what's called the exciter wire, and that goes to the battery and measures state of charge, and then the alternator compensates for whatever else it is. I don't know which one of them it is, so I need to do some research. I don't know if you can see me. We're going to use autofocus here for a second. I don't know if what the pinout of that thing is. I don't know any of it. Just got to do some research on it. I recently found out that is what's called the 4G alternator, and Mustangs, for whatever reason, have been named 1. I think we're up to 6th generation now. And it makes sense because this is a 4th gen car, so it has a 4th gen alternator. But as far as I can tell, documentation isn't super good on them, which is surprising because they're a very common thing, because this car had it, Crown Victoria's had it, Lincoln Town Cars had it, anything with a 4.6 liter V8, and I mean, that was Ford's small block Chevy for a long time. I mean, it was in absolutely everything. Cop cars, taxis, Mustangs. I mean, the blueprint of the block is still in the Coyote. It's a 5.0. It's just a modular engine. Like, if you wanted to, you could bolt 3-valve heads on a 2-valve. You could bolt Coyote heads on a 2-valve with some modifications. Like, they are modular. The blueprint of this engine is in that car. And it's confusing to me that a very vital part of it does not have good documentation, as far as I can tell. So, I digress. Oh, I know what we can do, is I can show you that the lights now work. So let me connect the battery again. All that's good. I'm going to move my multimeter. Hello. And set this up right like that so you can see. So I gotta... Alright, great. Excellent. I know what I'm doing. So let me plug in the wire that I so carefully soldered together. And then I will yank on the lights, and we shall have illumination from the front. So plug her in. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Stupid thing. Go. Open. I want to do this live because I'm cool like that and I have no preparation. Alright, that should be on. Pull it once. Boom. We got headlights. We have brights? Yes, we do. Fix the lights. Job done. I'm happy with that. Cool. So I worked on it for about an hour today. Figured some things out about the battery and about the electrical system of the car. I have a switch panel that Andrew graciously gave to me that was out of Roxanne, the 300ZX that he is getting rid of. Yeah, that car had a lot of problems with it and it just wasn't worth keeping anymore. It's unfortunate, and that's really the car that got the channel started. If I have interest in it, maybe we'll go see it before it's dead. Maybe somebody can buy it. We still have all the parts for it. It's just not worth it right now. It has some trouble. It's a rolling shell. If there's interest in that, I'll show it to you. I don't really know. But got a lot of stuff done today. We're in good spirits, and this is a running and driving car. The battery might just die, so maybe next video we'll take you around the block. Cool. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching.